Good evening. Tonight, we turn our attention to a major development in American healthcare policy that could impact millions of families across the nation. President Donald Trump has just unveiled what he calls the Great Healthcare Plan, a sweeping and ambitious proposal designed to overhaul the current American healthcare system. This announcement comes after years of debate and anticipation, with many Americans eager to see how this new plan might address the persistent problems that have plagued the system for decades. The plan takes direct aim at some of the most pressing issues facing patients today: skyrocketing medical costs, confusing and often hidden pricing structures, and the ever-increasing expense of prescription drugs. These are challenges that have left countless families feeling overwhelmed and frustrated, sometimes forced to choose between their health and their financial security. Rather than presenting a single detailed law, the Great Healthcare Plan is structured as a broad framework. It lays out guiding principles and priorities, urging Congress to take up the challenge of turning these ideas into actionable legislation. The administration hopes this approach will encourage bipartisan cooperation and creative solutions from lawmakers on both sides of the aisle. At the heart of the plan are several key pillars: making healthcare more affordable for everyone, increasing transparency so patients know exactly what they're paying for, and reforming the way government programs help people pay for insurance. The plan also promises to protect those with pre-existing conditions, a concern that has been front and center in the national conversation. The White House describes this as a comprehensive and far-reaching effort, one that aims to lower costs for families in every corner of the country. Officials say the plan is designed to put patients first, giving them more choices and greater control over their healthcare decisions. Many of the plan's elements build on executive orders President Trump has previously signed, but this time, the administration is seeking to make those changes permanent by enshrining them in law. Supporters argue this will provide stability and predictability for both patients and providers. The plan arrives at a critical moment, as Congress is already locked in heated debates over urgent healthcare decisions. With emotions running high and the stakes even higher, the introduction of the Great Healthcare Plan injects new ideas and fresh controversy into an already charged political environment. Now, both lawmakers and the American public must carefully consider this alternative approach. Will it truly address the deep-rooted challenges in America's healthcare system? Or will it spark even more debate and division? Town halls, newsrooms, and kitchen tables across the country are buzzing with questions and opinions. The coming months will be crucial, as the nation watches to see whether the Great Healthcare Plan can gain enough support to become law, or if it will join the long list of ambitious proposals that never made it past the halls of Congress. The timing of the Great Healthcare Plan is no accident. In fact, it's a calculated move, arriving at a moment when the nation's attention is sharply focused on the future of healthcare. For millions of Americans, the stakes have never felt higher. The expiration of ACA subsidies has left families across the country anxious about how they'll afford their next doctor's visit or prescription. The uncertainty is palpable, and the pressure on lawmakers is mounting. It lands as Congress faces a deadline. ACA subsidies that help millions afford insurance have just expired. This means that for many, the safety net they've relied on is suddenly gone. The news has sent shockwaves through households, with families scrambling to understand what comes next. In waiting rooms and living rooms alike, people are watching Congress, hoping for answers. The House passed a bill to extend these subsidies, but the Senate's decision is uncertain. Lawmakers are locked in heated debate, weighing the costs and consequences of every move. Behind closed doors, negotiations are tense, and the outcome is anything but guaranteed. The nation is watching, aware that the decisions made here will ripple through every community. By introducing his plan now, President Trump offers a direct alternative, proposing to send aid directly to individuals, not insurance companies. This approach is designed to put money in the hands of Americans who need it most, bypassing the traditional channels and bureaucracy. It's a bold move, signaling a dramatic shift in how federal assistance could be delivered. This move challenges the ACA's structure and gives Republicans a new rallying point. Supporters see it as a chance to reshape the healthcare debate, while critics warn of potential risks and disruptions. The plan has sparked passionate responses on both sides, fueling rallies, protests, and heated discussions across the country. The plan is both a policy proposal and a political maneuver, aiming to shape the outcome of a critical legislative battle. It's a strategic effort to sway undecided lawmakers and influence the national conversation. Every detail, from funding to implementation, is under scrutiny as politicians weigh their options. Its release is designed to influence senators as they decide the future of healthcare funding. The coming days will see intense lobbying, last-minute negotiations, and high-stakes votes. Senators know that their choices will have lasting consequences for millions of Americans. The next days in Congress will be pivotal for American healthcare policy. As the nation watches, the decisions made now will shape the healthcare landscape for years to come, affecting families, providers, and the very fabric of the American safety net. The Great Healthcare Plan's core promise is to make healthcare more affordable for American families. It tackles high costs by targeting prescription drug prices, proposing to tie U.S. prices to those in other developed countries. The plan also demands price transparency, requiring providers and insurers to clearly post prices so patients can shop for the best value. Instead of sending subsidies to insurance companies, the plan would send money directly to individuals, giving them more control over their coverage. Supporters say this will foster competition, lower premiums, and expand choices. The administration believes these combined changes will finally put affordable care within reach for millions. Critics, however, question whether these measures will deliver on their promises. At the heart of the current debate over drug pricing reform is the most favored nations policy, a concept that has sparked both hope and controversy across the healthcare landscape. This approach is designed to fundamentally change how Americans pay for prescription medications, and it's quickly become a central talking point in the push for more affordable healthcare. Under this policy, drug companies would be required to sell their medications in the United States at prices no higher than those charged in other developed countries, such as Canada, Germany, or the United Kingdom. This means that if a medication is available for less overseas, Americans would benefit from those same lower prices, potentially saving billions of dollars each year. For years, Americans have faced the burden of paying the highest drug prices in the world, often forcing families to make difficult choices between their health and their finances. The most favored nations approach aims to put an end to this disparity, leveling the playing field for U.S. consumers. Originally introduced by President Trump through an executive order, the policy is now being considered for permanent adoption through new legislation. Lawmakers from both parties are weighing its potential impact, and the proposal has become a focal point in the ongoing battle over healthcare reform. Supporters argue that the most favored nations policy could dramatically reduce drug costs for millions of patients, especially seniors and those on fixed incomes. It could also save government programs like Medicare billions of dollars, freeing up resources for other critical needs. However, critics caution that the policy could have unintended consequences. They warn that it might reduce the funds pharmaceutical companies have available for research and innovation, potentially slowing the development of new, life-saving treatments. Some also fear that companies could respond by raising prices in other countries, shifting the burden elsewhere. This ongoing debate highlights the complex challenge of balancing the urgent need for affordable medications with the equally important goal of encouraging medical breakthroughs. Policymakers must weigh the benefits of lower prices against the risks to future innovation. For patients, the promise of the most favored nations approach is clear: lower prices at the pharmacy counter, less financial stress, and greater access to the medications they need to stay healthy. For the pharmaceutical industry, however, the policy represents a major shakeup of global pricing strategies. Companies may need to rethink how they set prices around the world, and the ripple effects could be felt far beyond U.S. borders. As Congress debates the future of the most favored nations policy, the stakes couldn't be higher. The decision will shape not only the cost of medications in America, but also the future of healthcare innovation and access for generations to come. Price transparency is another major pillar of the Great Healthcare Plan. The proposal would require hospitals and insurers to publicly post clear prices for services and coverage. The goal: empower patients to compare costs and make informed choices, driving competition and lowering prices. Supporters argue this will end surprise bills and create a true healthcare marketplace. Critics say healthcare pricing is complex, and posting prices may not help patients as much as hoped. Some worry it could lead to a race to the bottom or compromise care quality. Still, the administration insists transparency is key to fixing the system. The plan's most transformative idea is sending government insurance subsidies directly to individuals. Instead of paying insurance companies, eligible Americans would receive funds via voucher, tax credit, or direct deposit to buy coverage of their choice. Supporters say this empowers consumers, increases competition, and forces insurers to offer better, cheaper plans. The administration frames it as a shift from subsidizing companies to empowering people. Critics warn it could destabilize the market and leave some underinsured, especially those with pre-existing conditions. The debate centers on whether direct aid truly increases access and affordability. Congress will have to weigh these risks and rewards. The White House is touting the Great Healthcare Plan as a revolutionary fix for a broken system. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt called it the boldest agenda to lower healthcare costs ever considered. Republicans praise its market-based reforms and focus on transparency and drug prices. They see it as a long-awaited alternative to the ACA. Democrats, however, argue it weakens protections and could leave millions without adequate coverage. The direct-to-consumer subsidy model is especially controversial, with critics fearing it won't ensure comprehensive insurance. The plan's fate will depend on whether it can win over skeptics in Congress and the public. The Great Healthcare Plan enters a fierce political fight over the future of ACA subsidies. With subsidies expired, the House passed an extension, but the Senate is divided. Trump's plan offers a direct alternative aid to individuals, not insurers. This forces lawmakers to choose between two fundamentally different visions for healthcare assistance. The debate is a flashpoint in a long-running ideological battle, intensified by the recent government shutdown. The White House hopes its plan will sway enough senators to block the ACA extension. The outcome will have immediate consequences for millions of families and the entire healthcare industry. The stakes could not be higher. With the Great Healthcare Plan on the table, all eyes turn to Congress. The Senate's decision on ACA subsidies will determine the plan's fate. If the extension fails, pressure mounts to act quickly on Trump's proposal. Republicans would need near-unanimous support to pass such sweeping reforms. Democrats are expected to oppose, arguing the plan harms patients and destabilizes the system. Even with a majority, passing the plan will be a major challenge. Healthcare will remain a dominant issue as lawmakers debate the details. The coming weeks will reveal if the Great Healthcare Plan becomes law or remains a political statement.